tremendous, lethal sports talk will commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes! This is the Doug Stewart Show, coming to you live October 7th, 2014. And you in the building with your boy. Yes! Yeah, and this is a Top 5 Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. We got a packed show for you, as usual. And we're going to talk about the sports, Monday Night Football. Richard Sherman's in the news. LeBron James is in the news. Yeah. As well as we got a great top 5 question for you, man. So hit your boy up. The number is 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show. And this is the Doug Stewart Show, the most fun, the most entertaining, the livest sports talk show in America. That's right. We claiming the title, the most live sports talk show in America. Yes. Ooh, quick. Yeah, thank you for joining your boy. And good night last night. Good night last night in sports. And you had Monday Night Football. And you had a very compelling thing happen. And you are listening to The Doug Stewart Show. You can tweet me at The Doug Stewart Show, as well as I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I got my own app. You can go to the website, The Doug Stewart Show. So we all over the place. And this segment is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel, the number one place for one-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. You can't beat that. You can't beat $1 fantasy sports. All right, so go to my website, The Doug Stewart Show, and click on their banner link and get down with that FanDuel, which is off the chain. And you are listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Last night, so we had Monday Night Football last night, okay? And what you saw is a pretty dominating victory, decisive victory by the Seattle Seahawks, 27-17. The big story, though, is Russell Wilson rushed for a career-high 122 yards and a touchdown and completed 18 of 24 passes for 201 yards with 2 scores as the Seahawks dominated the Washington Redskins. And this thing was, I don't think it was as close as the score indicates. I mean, they called back 3 touchdowns for Percy Harvin because of numerous penalties. So basically you saw the Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks, handle their business. But I made a closer observation about this game last night, and in particular about Russell Wilson. I think last night what you saw from Russell Wilson was the reason why so many teams are giving opportunities to mobile quarterbacks, guys that can run, guys that have great athleticism, that just don't have to sit back there in the pocket and try to throw the ball, that have no mobility. I think what you saw on display last night was the future of the quarterback. Now, there have been a ton of guys that have displayed these characteristics and have done very well with it. I think Russell Wilson, though, might be the best mesh of an athletic quarterback, of a smart quarterback, of a leader, of a guy that has everything. The only thing this dude doesn't have is the size. But when you have all those other 3 things that I just mentioned, size really doesn't matter. So what you saw last night, and everybody's been talking about it, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, everybody's been talking about the fact that the Washington Redskins stayed in a man defense last night. Here's a little secret, okay? Here's a little secret I'm going to share with you. And a lot of football people know what I'm about to say, and they understand what I'm about to say. And I don't want to get too technical, but let me put this out there the best way that I can. If you have a mobile quarterback, okay, that's smart, as a defense, as a team, playing defense against said quarterback, you literally have to throw out half of your defensive playbook. Anything that deals with a man formation, a man coverage, you have to throw it out. If the guy's smart enough to recognize you're in man, there's no way you can stop him from running because your cornerbacks and your guys covering your receivers, their backs are turned to the quarterback. So you literally, if you have a quarterback that's smart enough to recognize man defense, you cannot stop it. You literally have to throw out half of your playbook. You have to run zone. Because when you run zone, basically your defenders are sitting in an area, and they're also keeping their eyes on the quarterback. In a man, they're keeping their eyes, for the most part, on the receiver, the guy they're covering. Okay? And so this is why you hear guys like John Harbaugh talk about the dynamics of a Colin Kaepernick and what he can do with him. They get excited when you talk about that because you're literally limiting the defense to what they can do. And I'm serious as a heart attack. And this is why when you have a Mike Vick or you have a Colin Kaepernick or even you can even go a little bit further back and Steve Young or Randall Cunningham where they can tuck it and go, it's unstoppable. It's literally unstoppable. The problem comes in, okay, when you're Mike Vick or when you're RG3 and you can't slide. You can't get down to protect yourself. Now, a guy like Cam Newton, he can take more hits, so he doesn't have to slide as willingly as some other guys. Quarterbacks are traditionally smaller, so you would want your quarterback to get down and not take shots. See, Mike Vick's been in the league for, 10 years, 12 years. Take a few years back for the jail sentence that he had to serve. RG3 has been playing football probably his entire life, but these two guys don't know how to slide. Okay? And I don't know whether it's Russell Wilson's background or maybe he's just smarter. Yeah, maybe Russell Wilson's just smarter to know that he has to get his ass down. But last night, he played a fantastic game. If it was Monday, I'd give him a baller. So Tuesday, I'd just give him a round of applause. So he played a fantastic game. He played an absolute fantastic game. And I know Pete Carroll is just giddy. And that's why he actually started this kid as a rookie over Matt Flynn, a guy they paid a lot of money to, because he was like, man, the capabilities, the possibilities are endless with this dude. Yes. And you saw it last night. And what you saw, it wasn't some type of mind trick. It is what it is. If you turn your back to the quarterback to chase the receiver down the field is wide open. Okay? It is. It's wide open. And so that's why it's so tough to guard against one of these mobile quarterbacks. But if you could just get them to have all three elements, okay? If you could get a quarterback that's smart, if you can get a quarterback that's a leader and athletic, you've got the total package. And I think Pete Carroll may have the total package. You are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Want to get your thoughts on this? The number to the show is 404-382-0338. A little bit later in today's show, we're going to get some commentary from my little brother, Ryan Evan Stewart. Yes, he's going to call the show today to give us his thoughts on whatever happened this past weekend in the world of sports. College football with the Atlanta Falcons, with Georgia Tech, with the Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm also going to ask them this question I'm about to ask you right now. This is a Top 5 Tuesday. And on Top 5 Tuesday, we form Top 5 list. But I'm kind of tweaking the Top 5 in the way we traditionally do it on the Doug Stewart Show and formerly the Two Live Stews. Your Top 5 question is going to consist of talking about the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL today. And this is all spurned from what Russell Wilson did last night. And I would consider Russell Wilson one of the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL. If I'm missing a guy here, that's fine. You can call up. You can tweet me. You can have some conversation on Spreaker.com about another guy that I may be missing. But I think as a whole, I think most people can agree these top 5 names that I'm going to give you out in this top 5 quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in today's NFL are the guys that most people talk about. So number 1 is obviously Russell Wilson. From what he did last night, and I've kind of mentioned it and set the table for Russell Wilson. This guy is like, he has the best of all worlds. He's smart. He can read defenses. He's tough. He's a leader. And he can throw the ball. He can do it all. So Russell Wilson. RG3. Probably not the best time to put RG3 in a conversation about top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL because of his injury situation. But I want you to kind of think back to before he played his first game or after he played his first couple of games in the NFL and how happy and how giddy the Redskins were and Shanahan was with having this guy and his skill set. Just imagine an RG3 without the injuries. Say you could get RG3 healthy And after his first year, his rookie season in the NFL and all of his attributes at that time. Then you got Colin Kaepernick, okay? This guy's kind of like the wild card, all right? Came out of Nevada. A lot of people didn't, think that he would be that great of a quarterback. But what he's done ever since being named starter over Alex Smith by John Harbaugh has just been tremendous. I mean, he's bona fide and tested in the playoffs, does great things, had a great game in the Super Bowl that he took the 49ers to. So Colin Kaepernick, and how about this guy, Andrew Luck, the prototypical pro-style quarterback, 6'5", 240 pounds, big arm, can do it all, and he's actually more athletic than you think. Yes, he can tuck the ball and run. He's actually more athletic than you would think. And the last guy is Cam Newton, a.k.a. Killer Cam Newton. The total package. The absolute total package. The only thing that you could say that is Cam still kind of questionable about is reading defenses and his accuracy at some times. But he has the size. He's a proven winner. To a degree, I think he's a leader. The skill set is there. He has a big arm, probably the biggest arm out of all of those guys, maybe the biggest arm in the NFL. So there's your 5 choices for your Top 5 Tuesday. Which young quarterback would you take and why? Okay, you got Russell Wilson, RG3, Colin Kaepernick, Andrew Luck, and Cam Newton. I want to get your thoughts on that. I want to hear what you got to say. Yes, about your top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL. Who would you take and why? That's the question I got for you, because these boys are the future. Yes, they are the future. And I'm pointing my finger up in the air, up at the heavens for emphasis. These boys are the future. And you saw it last night on display. Yeah, and I'm not joking. This isn't hyperbole, okay? This is not hyperbole. If you have a quarterback that knows when to tuck it and run, you literally, as a defensive coordinator, have to throw out half of your playbook. You have to. Because you can't let happen what happened last night. And the Redskins should be ashamed of themselves. This dude peeled off like 5 or 6 runs over 20 yards throughout this game. It was crazy. Unbelievable. They didn't make any adjustments. We don't believe he did what he just did. We're not going to trust our eyes. So we're going to stay in this man. You big dummies. I wish I had a Fred Sanford sounder. Yes, it's crazy. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, your phone calls, reading your tweets, having fun, talking about sports. And I'm also going to get into this little story about LeBron James. LeBron James is about his money, and I said it last week. I got a newfound respect for this young man because he's very social conscious, and he's a businessman. And we always knew these things, but it's really come to fruition over the last year. We'll talk about it up next on the Doug Stewart Show.
This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. I'll at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!
All meat, no gristle. The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, all meat, no gristle. Even though the gristle tastes the best. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. If you're from the country, you understand that gristle is good. But it's not good on this show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. So I've laid it out there, man. Who's your quarterback that you would take out of all these young guys, these young guns, I call them, in the NFL? People are talking about it on the chat line. You can hit me on Twitter. You can also call the show at 404-382-0338. This question kind of came because Russell Wilson just showed out last night, and I started thinking about it, man. I mean, he's the future. He's the future, and people said that about Mike Vick, that Mike Vick was the future, but the problem with Mike Vick is he's not very smart. Yeah, he doesn't know how to slide. How the hell can you be a grown-ass man and don't slide? I mean, every little boy knows how to slide. But Mike Vick's been in the league for over a decade and still hasn't learned how to slide. So he's not the brightest, okay? He's not the brightest bulb in the box. So Russell Wilson is the complete package. Him, and along with a couple of these other guys we're talking about in the top five. Him, RG3, Kaepernick, Luck, Cam Newton. Now, that's not my order. And I read one of the messages on the chat line, and they thought that I'd put him in order. No, I just laid him out there. That's not an order. I'm basically asking you, which one of these guys would you take and why? Here's a message, a chat message from Fred Mack. It says, Seattle is the hunted. They get the absolute best from every team they play, and Wilson is still killing them. Here's another one, another message from Chuck Down Frank. Luck has lit up every team with a lackluster team behind him. That's a great point. He obviously his vote is for Andrew Luck. So, yeah, want to get your thoughts on that. On this Top 5 Tuesday, out of these young gun quarterbacks, which one would you take and why? I don't know. And I'm going to tell you who I would take a little bit later, and it's probably not the guy that you think that I would take after so much glowing conversation about Russell Wilson. And all of these guys, it's really hard to pick because they all have their great attributes, and they've all done fantastic things in this league. But I think that is one particular guy that I would probably take over everybody else. You are listening to The Doug Stewart Show, and this segment is brought to you by Univon. Great long distance, not like you at your mama's house. Go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and check them out. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show, 404-382-0338. I mentioned before we went to the break about LeBron James and about the fact that he's very conscious about social issues, and also he's a businessman. If you haven't heard, the NBA came to a new agreement for television rights, a new deal for the television rights. Here's a quote from LeBron James. I'm kind of the guy that has the power, I guess, without even having to put a name on it. James said Monday after the league announced a 9-year extension of its TV deal with ESPN and TNT that begins in 2016 and 17. I'm very educated, and I will use what I have to make sure our players are taken care of. This is LeBron James making such a bold statement that he's the leader without even being elected. I like that. And also talking about the fact that he's very educated, even though he didn't go to college. And college isn't a true bearance of education. It's you following some instructions and getting a degree from a university. So LeBron is very smart. From what I understand, when he was in high school, like really aced his SATs, so a very smart young man. And very smart to go get that money, when he could go get it as opposed to going into college, in my opinion. The deal, which the New York Times reports is worth $2.66 billion annually, will nearly triple the $930 million per year the league currently takes in from its TV and digital rights. All right, the current CBA came to be in December 2011 following a 161-day lockout. The league claimed it was losing $300 million annually with 22 of the 30 owners. Yeah, right. Operating at a loss. The players accepted a new deal that gave them approximately 50% of the league's annual basketball-related income, a sharp decrease from the 57% they received from the previous CBA. Listen to this quote from LeBron, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The whole thing that went on with the last negotiation process was the owners was telling us that they were losing money. There's no way they can sit in front of us and tell us that right now, after we continue to see teams selling for billions of dollars, being purchased for $200 million, for $550 million, $750 million, $2 billion, James said, and now Prokhorov is possibly selling his majority stake in the Nets for over $1 billion, so that will not fly with us this time. Yes, and that's exactly right, LeBron. That crap ain't gonna fly. Get your money. Yes, get your money. And LeBron looks like him and his agents and his representatives are smart because they did these short-term deals. They did these 2-year deals in estimation of a new agreement and new TV money coming down the pipe. And so it looks like LeBron is a genius, and he's going to get that money. And also another thing that was talked about in this story is that it's really setting up that the players are going to try to go for an uncapped league. Yes, no salary cap. Now, if that happens, can you imagine what LeBron's going to have to be paid if the owners are able to finagle no salary cap? Are you kidding me? Huh? I mean, I don't even think that. Like, it's almost like you would have to give LeBron, like, ownership in your team. Because right now, he's at the top of his game. He's probably at the top of the hill where over the next couple of years, maybe he has 2 more years at his pinnacle, at his zenith. Okay, and then he's going to start digressing and losing some of his skills. I say 2 more years at his top skill level. So what are you going to have to pay LeBron James after this deal that he has right now with the Cleveland Cavaliers is done? I mean, can you even guess what he's going to have to be paid if there's no salary cap? I don't know if the owners are going to allow that to happen. I just think that it's just opened up too big of Pandora's box. Yeah, so I don't think that that's going to happen. But the way it's sounding is they're going to try, that the players are going to try to get a no salary cap deal with the owners. And if that happens, it ain't enough money you can pay LeBron. I'm trying to think. Like, you'd almost have to give him like 50% stake in your team because that's how valuable he is. And that's how big of a brand he is. And that's how much his involvement with your team and him on your starting 5 would result in possibly winning a championship. So, yeah, big moves by that young man. And if you're new to the show, you're probably saying, wait a minute, what the hell? Doug Stewart isn't a LeBron James fan. You're late. You're late to the party. All right, I've come clean and I've come full circle on LeBron ever since he decided to go back to Cleveland. I think that the essay that he wrote was genius. And I never said the guy wasn't a fantastic basketball player. I just thought it was a real bitch move to just fly down to Miami and play with Dwayne Wade. And there's a lot more behind that thought, and I'm not going to even get it on the show, but I am back because I was before he went to Miami. I am back to being a fan of LeBron James. Yes, I am, and I know people are falling out of their chair right now. Like, what? What? Because I supposedly was the most ardent LeBron James hater, quote-unquote hater, there was. That's not the case. That's actually propaganda. That's not true. And for the second time today, I'm pointing my finger at the ceiling because that's not the case. That's not the case. So I'm actually rooting for the young man. Outside of the Lakers winning it all, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, I'd like to see the Cavs win it all. I think that'd be a great story. I actually think that would be a fantastic story. Yes, that's right. This is Doug Stewart. This is Doug Stewart. Yes, you aren't tuned into the wrong show. You're actually tuned into the right show and to the livest show online and on the internet and in the world. Are you telling 2 people? Are you telling 2 people every single day about the livest, the most interactive show in America, the Doug Stewart Show? if you're a company out there and you'd like for me to promote your brand, your product, your company, we'd love to do it. We would. You better jump on board now. I mean, we're doing big things around here. We're doing huge, gigantic, orca big things around here on the Doug Stewart Show. So email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do some business. All right, when we get back from the break, have you ever been in a bar where somebody actually, literally, figuratively bought the bar? I'm going to tell you a little story about that. And Richard Sherman is talking more cash-ish. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened last night and who he got into it with, and your phone call. Read more of your tweets and your chat on Spreaker. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle, better known as Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
He's nobody's sports talk puppet. The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the most interactive, the most fun sports talk show in America. Yes. Thank you for joining your boy. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate you passing the word and telling people about the livest, most interactive show in America. And actually, it's the 2 live stews, but it's just me. It's just one stew. The other stew, his schedule won't permit. His schedule won't permit because he's Mr. Mom out this piece. He's a soccer dad. Speaking of the other stew, he's going to come on today to talk a little bit about Georgia football, Georgia Tech, give his thoughts on the Falcons and that debacle this past weekend with the New York Giants. Someone asked me yesterday, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Someone asked me yesterday, what did I think about Smitty going for it on that 4th and 1 at the end of the game there, and should they have, done something different? And in the press conference on yesterday, he kind of talked about it, the Monday press conference, and saying that, he just felt like at that time that that's what they needed to do and he would do it again. And I agree because they weren't stopping anybody, and this is the same old story, and I've been talking about it every single day. They can't stop anybody, and up until that point, at that point in the game, they hadn't been able to stop the Giants for a good part of the action. And so I don't really have a problem with them going for it. I don't know about, that particular play call. You got Steven Jackson back there. Just give it to him right up the gut, right up the two-hole, but they didn't do that. So I don't know. I just think that the Falcons what you see is what you get. They're going to be able to score points. Sometimes, though, they're going to bog down and not be able to move the ball, which is going to result probably in a loss because they can't stop anybody. So they got to get in shootouts every single week and try to win these games. So we're going to get little Bubba's thoughts on that a little bit later in today's show. So if you're listening and you know somebody that used to be a Stews fan and they haven't locked on to the Doug Stewart Show yet, tell them to go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com. I got an app, The Doug Stewart Show, as well in the App Store. And then you can also listen to the show on Spreaker.com and see what we're doing every day here from Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. All right, 404-382-0338. So we're talking about the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Who would you take and why? And the choices are Russell Wilson, RG3, Colin Kaepernick, Andrew Luck, or Cam Newton. And I'm just going to tell you who I would take right now, man. I would take Cam Newton still. And yes, Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl, and he looks fantastic, and he looks like a true gamer. All these guys look like that for the most part. Here's the reason I would take Cam Newton, because I think Cam has enough qualities that his upside is bigger, I think, than all the other guys that we talked about. I think that Cam Newton can get even better than he is right now. And right now, he's pretty damn good. I think he may have even made it to a Pro Bowl last year without even looking. Not only that, he's shown that he's a winner, okay, by winning a national championship in college and coming back and winning some big games. If you remember that game against Alabama where they scored like 20-something unanswered points in the second half. So the guy is a leader. He's a winner. His physical attributes are bigger and better than everybody else. The closest one being Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck isn't the athlete that he is. He has the biggest arm out of all those guys. And here's the big thing. I think that if you stuck Cam Newton with the same exact scenario that they have in Seattle, and I'm talking about the same defense, the same offensive weapons, the same coaching, the same offensive coordinator, everything was the exact same. I don't think that they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl last year because of him. You understand what I'm saying? I think that Russell Wilson is probably a better field general, and he's probably a slightly better leader. But I don't think if you switch them around, that Cam on that Seattle team last year, I don't think that you would say they wouldn't win a Super Bowl because of Cam. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that if you put Russell Wilson on the same Carolina Panther team, I don't know. I'm not sure that they would win as many games as Cam has won or Cam won last year. You get where I'm going with this? So bottom line is, if I had to pick all out of all these guys, I still would, without the Super Bowl win, without the wins and the heroics that Russell Wilson has had thus far, and the great play that you've seen from Colin Kaepernick going to the playoffs and going to a Super Bowl. I think if you switch Cam with any of these guys, I think they're a better team. Simple as that. And I know a lot of people saying, you're crazy. Are you insane? Cam hadn't done it, this, that, and the other. That's my logic that I'm going with and why I still would take Cam Newton. All right, let me get your calls. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Here's a chat message from Dane. He says, can Andy Dalton get some love? No. No, Dane, not in the top 5. And I mean, yeah, maybe in the top 10 as far as young quarterbacks. Andy Dalton can get some love, but would you take him over any of the 5 guys that I've named? No, I don't think so. Here's one from Polo Negro. Doug, can we talk about how UGA are getting stuffed in the rankings? Yes, we talked about that yesterday. I think UGA is number 13 right now. And I guess what he's referring to is there's a bunch of other teams ahead of UGA that have one loss as well. And so he feels like they should be a little bit higher. I don't know. You can make the argument for that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that they're going to have their opportunities. I think a lot of teams ahead of them are going to come up with one loss. A lot of the undefeated teams are going to end up with a loss or more. So I still think there's a lot of opportunity for UGA to move up in the rankings. Let's see. Who do you got here? From Open Thinking Podcast Dude. He says, I'd like to see Cam with Jacksonville on one side, Deshaun Jackson on the other, and AP running the backfield. I guess you're a Jacksonville fan. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Quickly, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. Royals first baseman Eric Hosmer helped power Kansas City to the ALCS and then fueled the after party at McFadden's, 10 minutes west of Kauffman Stadium on I-70, the best way he knew how. Hosmer, according to local reports, arrived with several teammates after they finished off a sweep with their 8-3 win over the Angels and picked up the tab for everyone in attendance. Yes! Dude bought the bar. He says he spent like $3,000 on the early Monday morning bar tab, and his teammates shared a $12,000 bill. The Kansas City Star reported citing a Royals official. Now, let me say this. When I first heard about this story, why is it that the first thing that came to my mind was how I could sneak out as much liquor as I could? I mean, I started thinking about, could I bring like a squeezy bottle, or could I bring like a big ass flask and stick it in my pocket and just keep ordering drinks and keep pouring it in the flask or the water bottle? Because, and I don't know if I'm just country or not, because where it's free, that's where I'll be. And maybe I'm just ignorant like that, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. Free alcohol? Yes, free alcohol is unbelievable. Yes. And so Eric Hosmer, he gets a ball award, man. If we were doing ballers today, man, bought up the bar. They spent $15,000 on free liquor. And from what I'm reading, there wasn't like a stipulation on what kind of liquor you could get. Like, I probably would have been like, all right, I'm going to buy the bar, but it's all bottom shelf. It's all bottom shelf, you know? So it sounds like $15,000 in an hour's time. It sounded like they were like getting like the real stuff, like Ketel One and top shelf stuff and Ciroc, which is the greatest liquor in the history of the hood. Yeah. So shouts out to Eric Hosmer. That's big things. That's big right there. That is huge right there. So shouts out to him. And also one other short story in the world of sports. You know, last night you heard about the little controversy, but Richard Sherman says that Pierre Garçon, and you kind of saw some of the footage of it, said Pierre Garçon, the wide receiver for the Washington Redskins, was pulling on his damn hair. His hair. Now, I don't know how I even feel about this story, because I'm almost like, damn it, you got the hair. You wanted to have this hair. That's a part of your uniform. The NFL came out and said that a couple of years ago with all these guys in the dreadlocks. He says, yeah, Pierre did a few things. He told CSN in Washington, when asked if Garçon pulled his hair, when you can't get open, you got to do whatever you can do. And I agree with that 100%. When you can't get open, when I can't get open, I'm going to do everything or anything that I have to do to get open. So I ain't mad at Pierre Garçon. The crowd is acting like I'm holding him. Obviously, on the TV copy, you can see what happened, says Richard Sherman. Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, you want to go out there with your hair flowing like Goldilocks? I mean, what happens, happens. These dudes trying to get open. They're trying to catch that ball. They're trying to get free. And if you got something that I can use to your disadvantage, I'm going to use it. Yeah, so I ain't mad at Pierre Garçon. They needed to do something last night, because what they were normally doing wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And that's what we're kind of talking about today, is the fact that, man, Russell Wilson just shredded the Washington Redskins last night with running the ball. Yes, that's what he did. He shredded them. And they stayed in this man defense and just continued to let them shred the team. It was absolutely crazy. So it got us into the conversation on this Top 5 Tuesday about the top 5 young quarterbacks in today's NFL, and the list that I came up with, and I think most people agree. All right, somebody call up or hit me on Twitter saying, what about Andy Dalton? No, Andy Dalton might be 6, 7, or 8. But this is Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the NFL. Russell Wilson, RG3, Kaepernick, Luck, or Cam. And I guess you could make the argument to take RG3 out of this conversation. But as I stipulated earlier, kind of imagine that it's RG3 at the end of his rookie season without all the injuries. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was the bee's knees. Everybody and their mama was talking about RG3 and he's the next. And he's this, that, and the other. So I said it, man. I take Cam Newton. I would take Cam Newton. For the reasons that I just mentioned, I just think he's a total package. Hadn't won a Super Bowl yet, like Russell Wilson. But how many guys in their third year have won a Super Bowl? I mean, what he did in winning that Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks is unbelievable in itself. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And, I mean, right now, I think they're probably the odds-on favorite to win it again. But if I had to choose a quarterback right now out of all these young guys in the league, I think that I would take Cam Newton. And I think that I even may take Andrew Luck before Russell Wilson. And I know that's crazy. It may sound crazy to a lot of people, but to a lot of people, it's not crazy. Andrew Luck is that dude. This is a guy that's going to be the quarterback of that franchise for the next 12, 13 years, adding on to, I think this is his third year right now. He's that dude and more athletic than most people give him credit for. So he can do it all. He's kind of like in the conversation when you talk about these young guns and being the prototypes in the new breed of quarterbacks in the league. You cannot call man defense against a quarterback that recognizes it and that can run. And he doesn't look to run. He just breaks containment. So, yeah, Russell Wilson is that guy, and we're getting your thoughts and reading your tweets and your chat at Spreaker.com on which one of these young quarterbacks would you take when we get back from the break. Monday Night Football, man. Monday Night Football talk, Richard Sherman talk, and we're going to continue to talk about it and have fun. Sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Stop.
So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play when and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlements or solutions to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've also helped thousands of people, thousands, solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam.
Now back to the realest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America. And we talk about everything, absolute everything you want to talk about in the world of sports. We also talk some entertainment. Speaking of which, and you are listening to The Doug Stewart Show, the number is 404-382-0338, 404-382-0338. And you can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you're a company out there and you'd like to partner up with us, we'd love to partner with you. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We will promote the hell out of your brand, your product, or your company. We'll do it. We'll definitely do it. We would love to do that. So email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. So, did you see the clip? And I saw a clip. I'm not even sure when the show comes on. Did you see the clip of Alfonso Ribeiro, a.k.a. Carlton from the Fresh Prince, doing his Carlton dance, I guess it's dubbed, on Dancing with the Stars? Oh, man, classic, man. That guy, you talk about building your brand off of doing a little, an inadvertent, part of the show and it lasting for about 15 years. This dude is known. I mean, he could probably charge, to come and do his little Carlton dance at a party like some of these celebrities, these quote-unquote celebrities do, to have them show up to be a celebrity party goer or host or whatever. Yes, this man did the Carlton dance, and everybody in America, like Twitter, went crazy about this guy, man. And I go all the way back with this dude to Silver Spoons. Yes, to Silver Spoons. You remember Silver Spoons? If you're over 35, or probably 30 at least, what was the little white kid name with the blonde hair? What was his name? And I should have thought about this. Ricky Schroeder! You remember that? It was him and Ricky Schroeder. And I'm going to guess that show was in the late 70s. Maybe even mid-70s. Maybe when I was 6 or 7 years old, that show was on. So we're talking maybe 76, 77. I know my producers will look that up for me and tell me what years that Silver Spoons aired. But that was a great show. And this dude's been in Hollywood and doing this thing since then. Yes. And really, now he's one of these celebrity, I guess, reality people doing Dancing with the Stars. But dude is very talented. I remember, you can go back even a little bit further, and you are listening to The Doug Stewart Show. I can go back to, you remember when he did the commercial where he acted like, and he danced like Michael Jackson? YouTube that. Yeah, if you're young, YouTube that. It was almost like, I can't remember the exact details, but he basically killed Michael Jackson. The dude is very talented. He can dance his ass off. And so he played like a miniature or a mini-me Michael Jackson in this Pepsi commercial, I believe it was, and did the moonwalk, was dressed like him or whatever, and Michael actually appeared in the video. God bless the dead. Damn! MJ gone! In the famous words of Kanye West, MJ gone! Huh? That's crazy to think about. So yeah, shouts out to Alfonso Ribeiro and doing this damn thing still. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And Silver Spoons was on from 1982 to 86. So a little bit later than I thought. I thought for some reason I was a kid watching that. So in 82, I was 13 years old. But yeah, great show. Great talent. That's a talented brother, man. Alfonso Ribeiro is a talented dude. Dances his ass off. And I saw a clip a couple of months back. It looks like him and Will Smith were in some island, like the Bahamas or Jamaica or something, for some kind of festival. And they got up on stage and they did the Apache dance. Apache, jump on it. They did that little thing that they did from the Fresh Prince, and they killed it, absolutely killed it. Love those guys, man. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Let's talk to Triple Digit. Triple Digit, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What you got, Triple Digit?
first off, I wanted that train set throughout my house. Like on
Yes, we all did, and you're exactly right. Now, what Triple Digit is talking about is on Silver Spoons. The dude was like, okay, and this partly because of the title was Silver Spoons. It was a rich kid, and he had like everything he wanted. Dude had a real life-size train that him and his friends could jump on, and it like traveled all around the house. A real train. That was real dope when you were a kid. When you were a kid and you saw something like that, yeah, you really wanted one of those.
Definitely. And now later on, watching those, whatever, I kind of wanted that stepmother or whatever that was, the girlfriend or whatever that was of the dad.
Yes.
But I'll leave that alone. It's kids could be driving in the cars these days. Right now. Okay, so after watching that game last night, I want RG3. I want the healthy RG3.
You still want to? Now, hold on. Let me set the stage for people that don't know. And Triple Digit has really supported the show by calling up since we've been on for the last 3 weeks. You're a DC fan. You're a DC native, so you root for all the DC fans. You're saying in this question, the top 5 young quarterbacks, which one would you take? You're still taking RG3?
No. Overall, those 5, I want Russell Wilson.
Okay.
That's fine. No, I'm saying I want a healthy RG3 as my quarterback in DC because he can provide that extra that the defense has to account for.
Okay.
That Cousins doesn't.
Right.
I mean, Cousins mobile, but he's not Andrew Luck mobile. He's not RG3 mobile. He maybe get 2-3 yards on that one bootleg that he had.
Right.
Where RG3 is going to bust that for 15, 20 yards. And I'm saying I want a healthy RG3.
Right.
I don't want this, stuff that we had last year.
Do you think that this kid is ever going to be the same RG3 we saw in his rookie year, senior year at Baylor?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. He's come back before from the injury, what was it, in college?
Right.
And then he did the same thing. So he'll be back. He'll be fine. Hey, that's my franchise.
Yeah.
But whatever. Last night, we did make adjustments eventually in that third quarter, but that first half was just disgusting. I mean, you put a spy on it. I know it. I play Madden. I did lose, 104 to 3 to Rich back in the day?
Right.
So, come on. I learned, I've changed and everything like that. Not Greg Williams. What's my team? Hazlitt needs to, whatever. He might need to be gone at the end of the season.
Yeah, even players of Madden know that you have to make adjustments, and it just looked like Haslam for the Redskins last night, the defensive coordinator didn't want to adjust. It was crazy.
Yeah, initially. He did later on. That third quarter, we were close. And it surprised me that we played them well. I was a little disappointed in Arapaho's comments after the game saying, we hung tough with the champs. We gave them our all. That's moral victory crap. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
We need to win.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this losing. We're going to win the next 2 games. We're going to beat Arizona, and we're going to beat Tennessee. We're going to go into that Monday night game against the Dallas Cowgirls, and we're going to beat them. We're going to go 4-4, and we'll see what goes on from there. RG3 will be back right around then. So.
Hey, appreciate the call, Triple Digit.
How the Redskins go Wizards last night. First preseason victory. It's the year of the Wizards, and I'm gone.
And he's gone. Thank you for the call, Triple Digit. Triple Digit called 404-382-0338. A couple things he mentioned, though, is, Jim Haslett didn't make any adjustments last night. He tried to, but it was a little bit too late. And also, he brought up RG3 in conversation. Something I meant to mention earlier, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Something I meant to mention earlier is, have you seen RG3 has straight, braided them little Pippi Longstocking dreads, twist things that he has in his hair? He's going to straight, almost like cornrows, like a bootleg Allen Iverson. Like he went back 10 years. And see, here's the thing that I don't get about this young man. And I think Rob Parker, he went a little bit too far about his comments about RG3 and everything that got him basically canned from the puppet factory. But that's not cute anywhere. not anymore. Now, maybe he could have that could have flied 10 years ago when Allen Iverson, maybe even 15 years ago, everybody in the NBA was rocking the braids, okay, and the cornrows. But the cornrows have pretty much gone out, or have been gone for the last 8 years. So what are you doing, dude? You look a mess. Somebody please get word to RG3 that he's trapped in time. All right? He's like 10 years behind every style and fashion Maybe where he's from in Texas, maybe some little hick town wherever he's from, that's cool. But dude, you on TV every other day. You can't be walking around like that. And I've said it before. He is going to absolutely regret in 20 years when he gets older the fact that he took his Heisman picture, or he had his Heisman mural with those stinky ass little braids, twists, or whatever they're called. He's going to regret it. I remember before I got married, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and before the bald head had become so accepted and whatnot, that before I got married and my brother was in the wedding, he had a bald head. My mother gave him a call. He's at Georgia Tech, I think, or in the league at that time. My mother gave him a call like months in advance of the wedding, knowing he was going to be my best man, and says, listen, man, you need to grow your hair back, okay? Because if this bald thing doesn't stick, if this is just a fad, your brother's not going to like that you in all of the wedding pictures with this bald head. Little did she know that it's pretty much been accepted, and dudes have just said, hey, freak it, I can't cope, so I'm going to go with the bald head, But yeah, he's going to be so mad. He looks a mess. When we get back from the break, we'll talk about that Monday night game, talk about your top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL. Who would you take and why? And grab your calls, read your tweets, have fun on this Top 5 Tuesday. Don't go away.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would Joe's like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone, running up my bill with that old hussy. Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougsstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougsstewartshow.com or the app link for details.
In an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk, the Doug Stewart Show.
That's right. We are in an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk on this show. And this is the Doug Stewart Show, the unlamest, the unlivest. You understand what I'm saying? Sports talk show in America. Thank you for joining your boy. You can email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Would you like to partner up with us? We'd like to partner up with you. Once again, we're doing big things. Holla at your folk. Email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. And let's do some business. This segment of the show is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. That's right. The last thing you want is Sam on your back. So go to my website, The Doug Stewart Show, and click on their banner link and get Uncle Sam off of your back. This is The Doug Stewart Show, and it is a Top 5 Tuesday. And in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk to my little brother, Ryan Evan Stewart, the soccer dad, a.k.a. Mr. Mom, who's retired from competitive sports talking. And he's going to come on, man. He's got the itch a lot of times to come on and talk sports. He still loves it. He's just retired, okay? He's like a horse in the pasture, and all he does is stud every day. That's his job. We had over a decade in this game, and he has saved his money a little bit better than me. He saved his money a little bit better than me, and he's done. He's called it a career, and so we're going to have him on periodically to get his thoughts on some of these stories in the world of sports. And so today he's going to come on and do just that. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Here's a tweet from Jack the Wagger. Okay, I get you. He says, I'll take luck over any of them. To turn a 2-win team to a Super Bowl contender in his rookie year is amazing. I will agree with that. And what we're talking about is the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL. Which one of those top 5 guys would you take if you had your choice? Would it be RG3? Would it be Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick, Andrew Luck, or Cam Newton? I took Cam Newton, and I gave you some of the reasons why. Here's a tweet also from Third Eye Guy on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is The Doug Stewart Show. It says, LeBron is smart because he did what he did made what he wanted to do as opposed to what the media and fans wanted him to do. And I guess he's talking about the story where LeBron's, talking about the fact that this new TV deal that the NBA has, they want their money. The players want their money, and we'll get into the details of that story a little bit later. But, LeBron James, very social, been very socially conscious about a lot of these issues. You know what happened with the Donald Sterling thing with the Los Angeles Clippers, and he was very outspoken about that whole situation. And the guy's very smart. He's a businessman without even going to college, which isn't necessarily an indicator of intelligence. But LeBron's a smart kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's business-minded, and he wants his money. So we'll get into that story a little bit later. Let me read this message on Spreaker.com's chat. Says Scotty, this is from Scotty, says, yes, that brother has a huge ego. Obviously, he doesn't listen to anybody, or some female told him he looks really good like that. Shaking my head. Yes. And if you're just joining us, I was talking about RG3 now has his hair in plaits, in cornrows. And that went out, I'm pretty sure, 8 years ago. Like everybody in the NBA that had the cornrows, they took them out 8 years ago. And they had all of America rocking cornrows. And RG3 is late to the party. He's the only person in America that's still rocking cornrows. Now, it might come back, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't come back that quick. Usually it's a 30-year layoff on a fad. Okay? It took 30 years for European cut and skinny ties to come back. Okay? The cornrows just went out 8 years ago. It's not coming back yet, RG3, and you're not going to inspire people to make it come back right now. I mean, so that's what Rob Parker was kind of talking about. You kind of corny, man. You're kind of corny, bruh. Come on, man. Just get you a nice little fade or bald it. Bald it. That's what you should do. Just bald it. I don't know what Rob Parker was talking about with all of the commentary about him being, black or not black enough, this, that, and the other. I don't know about that. Clearly, he went too far with that. But I kind of get the corny reference. Dude, come on, man. Oh, my gosh. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And speaking of RG3 and football and the Redskins, last night on the Doug Stewart Show, last night on Monday Night Football, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, 27-17 win for the Seattle Seahawks. Not really a big surprise in my mind. Seattle's the Super Bowl champs. They pretty much got everybody back that they had last year. Huge win for them. Could have been a lot worse. I think they called back 3 touchdowns on Percy Harvin as well. But the big story is Russell Wilson and how he showed his ass last night. Russell Wilson rushed for a career-high 122 yards and a touchdown and completed 18 of 24 passes for 201 yards, 2 scores. The Seahawks get it done. Seattle is an NFL best 21-8 on Monday nights. I got to remember that. I got to book that in my memory bank because it sounds like there's some opportunities there to make a couple of dollars. Yeah, 21-8 on Monday nights, including 9 wins in a row. So they've been on fire on Monday Night Football. 9 wins in a row on Monday Night Football. The team is also 11-1 in prime time under Pete Carroll. Woo! Now, those some hellified trends if you like to wager at some point or another. If you're somebody that likes to wager, those are fantastic little trends. 21-8 on Monday nights, 9 wins in a row, and the team is also 11-1 in prime time under Pete Carroll. I'm going to save that right there. Yes, sounds like an opportunity to make a couple of dollars. So they get it done last night. And really, the talk surrounding the game last night is what Russell Wilson did athletically and as a mobile quarterback and as a guy that can get out of the pocket and do the damn thing. And I think what you saw last night is the wave of the future. And that's why you have so many of these mobile quarterbacks in college football. And what you see out of Andrew Luck, it still works. But the beautiful thing about a quarterback that can move and that can get out of the pocket is if you're a defensive coordinator, if you're calling or setting up your defensive plan for the week against said quarterback, you literally, and it was proven last night, use your eyes. You literally have to throw out half of your playbook. Anything that involves using a man coverage, you have to throw it out. You have to throw it out because if the quarterback can recognize it, and your defensive backs and your linebackers have their backs turned to the line of scrimmage and are running downfield trying to cover somebody, all your quarterback has to do is tuck it and run. And you saw that last night big time. You saw that last night, and he exploited it. And the Redskins didn't make adjustments till it was too late. And quarterbacks have done this before, but I think the thing that makes Russell Wilson special is he recognizes it. And he only uses it to break containment. He ain't really necessarily trying to run from the onset. And I don't have a problem with quarterbacks running, but you put yourself in harm's way when you can't get down. So this guy is smart. He recognizes the defense. He recognizes he can run. The chances of him taking a big shot are minimal, okay? So this guy is way ahead of the game, and dudes like Michael Vick and RG3, they can't comprehend that for some reason. It's like Michael Vick has some type of learning disability that he can't figure out as long as he's been in the NFL, and he may have one. And so if he is ADD or something like that, I apologize, but I don't think I've ever heard that before. I just think he's just not bright. Yes, he's not the brightest bulb in the box. He's been in the league all this time and hasn't figured out how to just drop down on his ass and slide. And RG3 is another one. With his ugly ass little braids and twists, he can't figure out how to slide. Thus has led to a lot of his injuries in his first couple of years in the league. So which one of these guys, I kind of spurring the conversation of which one of these guys would you take as far as young quarterbacks in the NFL? If you had your choice, which one of these young quarterbacks, these young studs, would you take? Would it be Russell Wilson? Would it be RG3? Would it be Colin Kaepernick? Would it be Andrew Luck? Or would it be Cam Newton? And I said it before, and I've said it many times before, that I would still take Cam Newton. I just think he's the total package. I think his best football is yet to be played. I think he still has a higher ceiling. I think he can actually get better. Most of the other guys I think we talked about, and all of them can get better to a degree, but I think Cam's ceiling is even higher than all these other guys that we mentioned today on this show. So I want to get your thoughts on that. 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. And here's a chat message on Spreaker.com. It says, I'd like to think Cam would be the best choice, but Russell Wilson is special. Wilson seems to have everything you need, mobility, good arm, and smart. And he already knows how to slide. I'm taking Wilson. And I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with anybody that takes somebody other than Cam in this little debate, this little barbershop debate. I totally understand reasons for all 5 of these guys. Okay? I definitely understand. And Russell Wilson is that dude. and I said this, and I've said this many times before, it really sucks that Joe Hamilton didn't come out 10 years later or after Russell Wilson, because Joe Wilson and Russell Wilson are the exact same player. And I even think that Joe Hamilton is a better field general. And everybody talks about how great of a field general and a leader on the field that Russell Wilson is. Joe Hamilton was the same player, basically the same elements. Now, I think Russell Wilson probably is a little bit bigger than Joe was in his playing career, slightly, but Joe is tough. Joe is like a small piece of leather. Former quarterback for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, second in the Heisman Trophy. Joe was like a little piece of leather, small but tough, okay? I don't ever remember Joe Hamilton sustaining an injury, and some guys are just injury prone, all right? But if Joe would have came out after this Russell Wilson ongoing or party that's happened ever since he's been in the league, Joe would have been probably no later than second or third rounder, and he would have had that money stacked up. And so it's just timing. And a lot of great quarterbacks from yesteryear, because the way the game has changed, would have really cashed out at the bank if they would have came through in this day and time. And you're starting to see these coordinators and these guys like Jim Harbaugh and Chip Kelly, you really use the assets, the God-given abilities and assets that some of these players have that they didn't. These assets weren't used 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the Major Harrises of the world, the great athletic quarterbacks back in the day, and the Turner Gills, and all those guys that had that element to their game, they really didn't get the opportunities they probably should have been afforded. So it's really, really interesting to watch the progression of the quarterback in the 2000s, the 2013s and 14s and 15s of the world. And these guys are really making the most of their opportunities, and man, just really proud. And guys like Randall Cunningham, and who were really at the forefront of this type of game, man, are really sitting back and really just nodding their head in agreement. This is what we were talking about. This is what I could have done. Could you imagine Randall Cunningham in the spread offense? Seriously, can you imagine Randall Cunningham in the same offense that they run in Seattle or they run in San Francisco? Oh my gosh. They would have had to change the rules. Just like they changed the rules for Wilt Chamberlain, they would have had to change the rules for Randall Cunningham in the same type of offense that they run in San Francisco or Seattle. And that's real. I'm keeping it real about that. Yeah. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show. More of your calls, more of your thoughts, and I'll give you a little bit more details about LeBron and this new money that the NBA has come into, and how the dude is really, really socially conscious, and he's about his money. We'll talk about that. We'll also have my little brother Ryan Stewart on the line to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports. And more of your phone calls, more fun. The Doug Stewart Show, the People Show. Keep it locked.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with the long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the thedougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. Sports talk for the people. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. Have you heard the news? Huh? Have you heard the news? The Doug Stewart Show is becoming the fastest growing sports talk show in America. Yes! And the numbers don't lie. Either late today or tomorrow, we are going to exceed 10,000 listens to the show. Yes! In only 3 weeks, shawty. In only 3 weeks, we've had over 10,000 listens. So people are listening. But I need you to keep it going. I need you to pass the word and tell your folk. You know, people that love the stews, tell them that they can still listen to the stews, except for it's only one stew. But damn it, he's live as hell. Yes! The studio audience loves it. I mean, my studio audience is on point. So we're doing big things, but just tell 2 people. Hell, all right, in honor of us about to go over 10,000 listens, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, tell 3 people. Yes! Tell 3 people. Starting today, I need you to tell 3 people about the livest, most interactive sports talk show in America. That's right, the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, we're all over the place. We got our own website, thedougstewartshow.com. We got a new app. The Doug Stewart Show is on the app or in the App Store. We're still on Spreaker.com. You can listen to the show, download their app. So there's no reason not to listen. Tell people about the show. All right? And that's what we're doing around here, having fun talking about these sports. Only the way the stews can do it. And speaking of the stews, right now on the line is my little Bubba, Ryan Evans Stewart. How you doing, sir? How are you doing? Huh?
What's up, man?
Man, how you doing? You came on barking. I haven't been barking a lot lately. I got to bring barking back to the show.
And you do whatever it is you do, and I'll do what I do.
Okay, sir. Thank you for coming on. First of all, people are always asking about you.
To the sports, man, and I know this is your show. You should be controlling this thing, but I got to tell you 2 things real quick.
Uh-huh.
I went to warm up at this golf course. Let's just call it Salty River, if you know what I mean. Salty River.
Uh-huh.
I patronize black businesses, so I don't want to throw them under the bus. And when I walk into the clubhouse, I tell the dude, "Hey, man, how much is it to get around today?" He opens up the cash register and gives me $5 to play the course. So for those who are golfers, make sure you don't go to Salty River, if you know what I mean.
Wait a minute. So you got caught at a goat track, huh?
It was, I mean, look, man, I got to the greens and I was trying to figure out if I needed my beach towel or my golf ball. It was ridiculous out there, man.
Hey, okay, so I got my little brother on the line. We're going to try to get him on a better connection because it seems like he's breaking up a little bit. And I thought he was on a landline. So we're going to try to get him back on the line on a better connection. But there's some, evidently and I got to get the name. I'm going to have to go ahead and get the name of that golf course again because there's nothing worse than playing at a goat track. There's absolutely nothing worse than that. And so evidently my little brother got caught out there at a goat track. So he's trying to warn you about said particular golf course. So we'll get him back on the line here. The number is 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. 404-382-0338. All right, we ready to try this again? Huh? Yes? Yes, we are? Okay, right now on the line, Ryan Evans Stewart. Ryan, sir, are you there?
I'm back, man. I'm back.
Okay, all right, I think you're a little bit better right now. So what's the name of the course one more time?
salty river. Use the opposite of both of those words, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. You're not trying to throw direct shade on them, but you trying to give us a heads up.
Exactly right, man. Do not go out there if you are trying to work on your game.
All right. So Falcons this week, man. Tough loss against the Giants. And I've been saying it the entire year long. I think this is probably an 8-8 team. They just can't stop anybody. They can score on anybody, but they can't stop anybody. What are your thoughts on this loss this past weekend to the Giants, sir?
If you are looking for a property in the Sugarloaf area, there's about 12 coaches that will be putting for sale signs in their houses if they do not find a way to beat the Chicago Bears, who, by the way, is a good football team that's coming to town this weekend, man. You got a quarterback that's second in the NFL in passing, man. He's behind Andrew Luck. And you just have no running game whatsoever because you keep feeding the ball to Steven Jackson when you've got a guy like Anton Smith that is averaging 11 yards per carry, and he breaks a big play every time they give him the ball. I think the coaches are overthinking themselves, overthinking the process, man. I think they're thinking too strong. I saw a couple of plays this past weekend where Paul Wurlow, or the linebacker, I really love the player, a free agent linebacker from last year. He's deserved to be the starter. He was playing the free safety position because of different progressions that took players in different parts of the field last weekend, man. He cannot be in the middle of the field for your defense, man. This thing is in disarray right now. They should be a much better football team, and I just don't know what the hell is going on, sir.
All right, you played in the NFL for 5 years. You kind of brought me to my next question, sir. You played in the league. You know how it works. What is it? Is it politics? Is it the fact that, he wasn't drafted? I can't even remember if he was drafted low. Or I think Anton Smith was a free agent when he came to the Falcons.
He was a free agent acquisition, sir.
Is it a political thing because he wasn't a high draft pick? They refused to give him the ball more? What is it?
You know what I'm going to say, man. It's simply the economics of the game. When you paying a guy like Steven Jackson top dollar, even though he hadn't produced since he's been here due to injuries and a few other things, you are going to give that money guy the ball. And it's sad because where I come from, a coach will feed a kid that's got a hot hand like Anton Smith. So instead of giving this kid the ball more than 11 times a game, you're now forcing yourself to play 4 running backs. The Freeman kid that was drafted, Jacquez Rogers that really didn't do much when he's out there, Steven Jackson, and then Anton Smith. If you've got to play one of those backs, sir, Anton Smith is the guy that should be getting the damn ball, as Keyshawn Johnson would say.
Yeah, so you like the chances? Give me an early prediction on this game against the Bears this weekend, man.
I'm concerned with Willie Moe being injured, man, and not being back there with that young secondary and Alford and Trufant, man. I think that even though I can't stand Jay Cutler, and I think he sucks and he doesn't deserve the money that he's getting, I think they're going to light this defense on fire when it comes to throwing the ball. Injury-wise, the Falcons are just decimated when it comes to the linebackers and the offensive line. So I see this D-line for the Bears getting to the quarterback, and I see, Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall really having a good evening versus Atlanta when it comes to the secondary, man. And I think the Bears will win this game by about 10 points, sir. Okay. I hate to say it, but I'm telling you the truth.
Finishing up with Ryan Stewart right now on the Doug Stewart Show. Quick questions, quick thoughts on Georgia Tech being undefeated, but they're only ranked 13th. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll take a 13th ranking. I'll take a 13th ranking for a team that's...
Wait. I'm sorry. They're not 13th. They're not 13th. I think they're 22nd. Georgia's 13th. Georgia's 13th.
I was about to say, what rankings are you looking at?
Right.
Look, man, we're putting up 34 points a game. Passing-wise, we got a quarterback that is cool, calm, and collected in Justin Thomas. He's a guy that can run the ball and throw the ball. He's cool under pressure. And we're rushing the ball for 300 yards a game, Doug. We're 5-0. We've got 2 tough games under our belt. This coming game this weekend versus Duke will be a tough game. If we find a way to beat Duke, then we play North Carolina and Pittsburgh. I think we will be 8-0 after 2 months of football. And I like what we're doing right now. I've been talking to a few Tech people, man, and it's crazy that even though we're winning and we're undefeated, there's a few folks that's not happy with Paul Johnson because of recruiting and they want a different coach. Mm-hmm. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the
so you like Paul. You keep Paul, huh?
Listen, man, I didn't say that, okay? But what I am saying is I want to win football games.
Right.
I want to win football games. That's all I want to do. Mm-hmm. I want to win football games, And it might not be sexy the way it's getting done, but when you win football games, that's all that matters. So some guys that are tech people are a little pissed off because we're having success, and that's just asinine to me. I support my team, and we're 5-0, looking to be 8-0 in a couple of weeks, and I'm cool with that, man.
You can't be mad at it. I'm finishing up with Ryan Stewart, little brother.
I got to tell you something real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to run.
Go ahead. I got one more question to ask you, too, before I let you go.
Okay. So, I'm a soccer dad now, and I take the kids to school, and all the kids know me because I spend a lot of time at the school now. I go on field trips. I help them sell cookies and stuff in the morning. I help them park cars and all kind of stuff. I mean, all the kids know me.
Right.
So I walk into Miles' class this morning, and his friend little Jimmy is sitting down crying, and he's holding his cat. And Miles is like, Daddy, Jimmy's over there crying.
Little Jimmy joke.
So I said, I'll go talk to him, Miles. I'll go talk to him. So I walk over to Jimmy and I say, hey, man, why are you crying? And why are you holding your cat? You're not supposed to have a cat at school. Jimmy, what's going on here? Jimmy said, because I heard my daddy tell my mommy I'm going to eat that pussy once Jimmy leaves for school. Listen, man, I fell on the floor dying. And I said, Jimmy, he didn't literally mean that, but it wasn't my business to tell him what was going on.
Oh, why did I see that coming when you start talking about a cat, man?
Listen, man,
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Now you're historically known for bad jokes, but you've really been killing it since you've been retired, man.
This is a true story too, man. People think it's a joke. I'm telling you a true story, man.
Finishing up with Ryan Stewart right now, the Doug Stewart Show. All right, man, I wish I would have let you say that until last, but I got to ask you this question. We talk about the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL. Based on what Russell Wilson did last night. If you had your choice, which one of these quarterbacks would you build your team around? Would it be Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, Colin Kaepernick, RG3, or Cam Newton? And we're talking about a healthy RG3.
I'm willing to bet that the majority of the Atlanta fans that are calling your show is saying Cam Newton because Cam has roots here. I'm willing to bet that the overall fan of football is saying Andrew Luck because he's the prototypical style quarterback. He's big, and he does a pretty good job. He's leading the league in passing right now. But I'm taking Russell Wilson, sir, for a couple of different reasons. One, I know he's small in stature, but he has a freaking Super Bowl ring already, okay? He got a Super Bowl ring. So I'm not picking anybody off that list because there's only one that has the hardware. You got a guy that is cool in the pocket, a guy that can pass, and a guy that's smart. I said for years on the 2 Live Stew show, Doug, I'm a guy that wants my quarterback to move the chain. So if people get impressed with quarterbacks that throw the ball for 300 yards, that doesn't matter to me. Last night, he threw for a mere 200 yards and ran for 120 yards and didn't take any hits while doing so. I'm taking Russell Wilson, sir.
Wow. So there it is. Ryan Evans taking Andrew Wilson. And it's hard to argue with anybody.
What gets longer when you pull it? It's between
Wait. Stop. Let me get prepared for this. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
What gets longer when you pull it? Sits between breasts, inserts neatly in a hole, and works best when jerked, Doug. Works best when jerked. What's that, Doug?
I don't know. Tell me.
It's a seatbelt, you dummy. Come on, man. You're smarter than this, man. You're smarter than this. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, man, thank you for the time. I see what you're doing on your retirement. You're getting better at telling jokes. That's good stuff, sir. Yeah. There he is, Ron Stewart right there on the Doug Stewart Show. It's unbelievable. If you remember the old show, his jokes were so dry and his timing was off. And ever since he's been retired, it's like he's going to a joke school. That's great stuff. Yes. Thank you, Jesus, for helping my little brother tell better jokes. And he's been killing it. Maybe he might take this whole comedian thing serious for real and pursue that. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, man. We'll get back to the commentary and the conversation about the NFL and these young quarterbacks. Don't go away. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlements or solutions to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've also helped thousands of people, thousands, solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam.
The Waffle House of Sports Talk Radio, The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, the Waffle House of Sports Talk Radio. The greatest breakfast in the history of the world, the quickest, and the tastiest, and the greasiest sports talk show in America. That's right, the Doug Stewart Show. Us and Waffle House. We like peas in a pod. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. I'm really tripping over here because we just had Ryan on the show, the other half of the Two Live Stews, and ever since he's retired, he's learned how to tell jokes. Now, it used to be funny just to tell or hear him tell a joke so bad, so that was funny in itself, but this is even funnier now because he's actually telling funny jokes. You get what I'm saying? So, wow, shouts out there, man, for giving us a call today on the Doug Stewart Show. Hopefully we'll try to do that at least once or twice a week. He can give us some insight in the locker room. It's just crazy to me, man, how Anton Smith can't get the ball more. It's just unbelievable. I mean, he has a burst. He's tough. Comes from a great program in Florida State. Him and Freeman. Both of those guys. Jacquizz Rodgers is a good back, but he doesn't have the shiftiness of those other two guys. Even though he's a smaller back, he runs kind of like a big guy, Jacquizz Rodgers. So I really think, and I think now there's been enough talk about it with the Falcons and in this city, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. There's been enough talk about it that they're going to have to start featuring him a little bit more in the offense. Why wouldn't you? The dude breaks 50-yard runs every weekend, it seems like. It just doesn't make sense. 404-382-0338. 404-382-0338. Here's a chat message from Polo Negro. He says, Doug, do you think that Arthur Blank is playing the loyalty card with Mike Smith and Thomas Dimitroff? Or do you think he isn't afraid to fire them? What's the holdup? They got to go. They've been so successful over the last couple of years, Polo Negro. I think that you got to give them a little bit more time. Now, based on what happened last year with the team and with all the injuries, they kind of fell off the earth. Some people would argue that this is Mike Smith's last year to make wholesale changes and to get this thing right. I don't know about that. I'm really kind of indifferent on whether they should get one more year or not. Now, if they have a year where they go 7-9 or 6-10 this year, and then next year they do the same thing or regress, I think next year you'd say he's definitely on the hot seat. I think that his record has been so good as the Falcons' offensive coach or head coach that I think you have to give him one more year. I mean, even though they haven't done the ultimate thing and go to a Super Bowl, I think the mindset of Arthur Blank is we're going to give this guy another year. Now, and truthfully speaking, and I respect both of these guys. I think they've both done great things for the organization. Kind of brought us out of the doldrums of the whole era at the end of Mike Vick's career and kind of made this team respectable. I do agree with that. But the guy that might even be on a hotter seat than Mike Smith is Thomas Dimitroff. And I love Thomas Dimitroff now. I think he's a great guy. Comes from that, that Bill Belichick tree or the New England Patriots way of doing things up there in the New England states, the great Northeast. But some of the picks and Parad Jerry in his own, the defensive tackle. There's been so many guys that just hadn't worked out. Probably the best thing that he's done since he's been here is trading all those picks and trading down to get Julio Jones, which a lot of people question that. But, that looks like it's worked. Julio's had some injury issues, but that looks like it's worked. That looks like a pick that's going to last for a long time and a guy that's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. But just so many picks that just hadn't panned out. Thomas Dimitroff, I would think if there was somebody to be fired this year, and I'm not saying that either one of these guys should be fired. I think that both of these guys have, to a degree, held up their end of the bargain for their job that they've, been asked to do. I do. But I think if you had to get one of them out of there at the end of this year, I think the chances should be higher that it might be Thomas Dimitroff because of the moves. When you take somebody in the first round, they got to pan out. And Parad Jerry just quit this year, which was the strangest thing ever. It's the strangest thing ever. This guy's on the team, and he's gonna get a paycheck. What black man just turns down a paycheck for, $1 million a year, whatever he was making? Who does that? And I think he's from Mississippi. And Mississippi's been in the news lately. M-I, crooked letter I. What brother do you know says, I don't want the check, I'm just going to quit? And Mike Smith asked him, what's your plans? He didn't even have a plan. Now, if he would have said to me, I'm going to buy into the Burger King franchise, or, I'm an owner of a new liquor company or something like that. If he had a plan, I could understand. And from what we understand, it's not an injury issue. Maybe he just didn't want to get hit anymore. And with all this stuff going on with concussions, he's taking his health into consideration. Maybe that's the case. But I've read that nowhere. I haven't found that to be the case, that he's concerned really about his health and concussions. And maybe he has an ongoing condition right now that prevents him from playing football. But he didn't say any of that. The guy just quit. When you draft guys in the first round and they just quit for no apparent reason and no backup plan, that's not good. You're not doing your enough homework. You're just not. So, yeah, that's a long answer to your question, Polo Negro. But, yeah, I just think that Mike Smith's probably going to get another year. Thomas Dimitroff is probably more on the hot seat than him. But I think both of them will probably be back next year. Unless they just fall apart and don't win any more games this year, then, yes, it's very possible both of them could be out. But I don't see that happening. I think that, like I said, they're going to be 8-8. They're going to be possibly 9-7, something like that. All right, 404-382-0338. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me. That's what I wanted to say. You can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. We really would appreciate it. And this segment is brought to you by Join 7. Join 7 is a protection group against life's little mishaps. All right? So check out Join 7. And you pay one price and you get protection against 7 of life's little mishaps. Very interesting concept. Go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and check them out. Join 7. All right. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Something that kind of just came down the pike, and it's a new story, but it's not really a new story. And I'll explain in a second. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. A day before Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson makes his first court appearance in Texas, it appears he will not consider pleading guilty to child abuse charges in an attempt to expedite his return to the playing field. Huh? Yeah. And this is something that the Puppet Factory always confused me about. They act like they don't know what's going on sometimes. And I guess you just want to post a story, and I guess you say to yourself, if you paste Adrian Peterson's name in a story, people are going to click onto it so you get credit for clicks, and it's advertising, and it's marketing. I kind of get that. I get that. But who in their right mind thought that Adrian Peterson was going to plead guilty to child abuse? You get what I'm saying? Who thought that? Did he ever give that indication that he was going to plead guilty? No. So this is a dumbass article by ESPN. It's really dumb. And I know this guy, Ben Gosling. I know it wasn't his idea. I know it wasn't his idea to write this, but I'm sure somebody up there says, listen, man, just write something about Adrian Peterson, the fact that we've confirmed that he's not going to plead guilty to child abuse. But really, it's a dumbass story because you knew good and well he wasn't going to plead guilty to child abuse. He's already said he wasn't abusing his kid. Whether you think he was or not, he's already said that he doesn't think that he was abusing his kid. So no matter what, he's not going to plead guilty. There's certain things that you could probably plead guilty to and live with it, even though if you didn't think that you were guilty. But child abuse, rape, you're never, ever going to plead guilty just so you can expedite the case. This is a dumbass story by ESPN. So that just came down. And yeah, dude has already said, I didn't abuse my child. Now, whether you agree with him or not is a different story. But it's just crazy. And a lot of times they'll have these stories and these little stories where you know the answer. You damn well know the answer. You know, you just posted it so we can click on it. And touche, it worked. It worked. I clicked on it, and I saw it. It actually came down, I think, within the last hour. Of course that man's not going to plead guilty because the man didn't think he abused his kid. All right? So that's crazy, man. ESPN need to go ahead with that BS. They need to go ahead with that. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're passing the word. I said it a little bit earlier. We are about to exceed 10,000 listens to the show. And we're not even through our third week yet. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people buying in to real, trill sports talk. Yes. And I'm like really, really trying to show emphasis today. I wish I had a camera in here because right now I am pointing to the ceiling again like my third grade teacher. Yes, Miss Baggett, she used to do this all the time. My granddaddy used to do it too. He was a preacher. All right? He was a preacher, and he used to always point at the ceiling and making his point. Yeah, tell people about the show. The most fun, the most interactive, the most live sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle, better known as Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER. That's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstortshow.com or the link on the DougStoreShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
This is the Doug Stewart Show, coming to you live from the ATL. Real live. Big ups to Ryan Evans Stewart, who came on a little bit earlier today. Had a little fun with him. His joke-telling skills are getting a lot better. You know what I'm talking about if you used to listen to the show. His jokes were just like, they were horrible. His timing was terrible. And, you know, the funny thing was laughing at him trying to tell a joke. But he's gotten 100% better. I got to give him credit. Yes. Big ups to him. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thanks for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. My man Polo Negro has been hitting me on the chat line on Spreaker.com. He says Pariah Jerry had that look on his face like he's going to invest in a dope game. Yes. And if you're an Atlanta Falcon fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you watch Hard Knocks, you even know what I'm talking about. So Pariah Jerry was the Falcons' first-round draft pick, defensive lineman. I think he played at Ole Miss, something like that. And the dude just quit the team. Healthy, all his faculties, fine from everything we understand. And he just walked in the office and said, I don't feel like playing football anymore. Now, this guy hadn't been in the league for 15, 16 years. And this has happened with a lot of the Falcons picks where they just hadn't worked out. So this guy hadn't played in the league for like 15 years. He actually tore his ACL one year. This is a first-round pick. He tore his ACL, wasn't able to play an entire year, came back from that. So we're looking for him to have a breakout year. And the guy walks in Mike Smith's office and says, I don't feel like playing football anymore. And he had this look on his face. Mike Smith was like, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, Mike Smith was like, so what are your plans? Thinking to himself, clearly, this ninja's quitting. He's got a backup plan, right? He's got a plan B or a plan C or D even. What's your plan, Pariah? However the hell you say his name. And he's like, I don't know. I'm just going to go home and think about it. So this dude's going to go back to Mississippi and doesn't have a plan. And Polo Negro made a great point that the look on his face was like, I got a plan, but I don't want to tell you the plan. So sounds like some illegal activity possibly. Yeah, like he's going to invest in the dope game or something. Because clearly you have a plan, dude. Okay? Clearly you don't forsake a multi-million-dollar a year job and a paycheck. Okay? And you're a first-round pick, so you're not going to get cut if you go out there and just go through the motions. You're going to get your money. You're not going to get cut. Clearly, you have a backup plan. Yeah, but he said he doesn't. And so that type of thing has been happening to maybe not to that extreme, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, but guys just haven't panned out. A lot of guys, the majority of the guys that the Falcons have picked up over the last couple of years under this regime just have not panned out. Even the free agents, like Steven Jackson is another example. And you kind of saw this coming. I mean, he's at the end of his career. He's a running back at the end of his career that played a bruising style of game at a running back position. Did you think you were going to get Steven Jackson from 8 years ago when he was in his first, second, third year with the St. Louis Rams? You couldn't have thought that, right? It's just been so much worse than what we even thought. Yes. And he's had some decent runs over this stretch in the first couple of games this year. in the league. But for the most part, he's just not been there. He's had chronic injury issues with his hamstring, and he's old as Methuselah. So it just hadn't worked out. You need to go ahead and play Anton Smith. You just need to go ahead and play him. Now, I don't know whether, and this is something me and Ryan didn't even talk about, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I don't know whether Anton Smith is just not a great practice player. And a lot of times that's the case. They can't put you in the field, or a lot of coaches have the philosophy, we're not going to put you in the field unless you show it in practice. But here's the problem with that. If you know anything about sports, if you've been around sports like I have my entire life, sometimes guys, they don't show up till the lights come on. A lot of guys are just that way. You know, they're horrible practice players. They kind of look like they're lagging a little bit, and they're not hustling and this, that, and the other. And I don't know what it is, and I'm not even saying it's right. But some guys, they are horrible in practice, and they just don't show up. But you turn the lights on, and wow, it's like a totally new player. And maybe Anton Smith is that guy. Maybe Anton Smith. I think they're at the point right now, the Falcons and the staff, I think they're at the point right now where they got to say, freak it, we can't cope. And they got to put this kid out there and see what he can do. They got to put him out there and just see. See if he can continually break off long runs. He can catch the ball. His blocking doesn't seem to be that bad. But it seems like the only issue right now, and the reason why, and it's always politics, it's always a reason, and we all know the reasons of why you play one guy over another, especially in the NFL. And it happens in college and it happens in pro. They're more invested in Steven Jackson. Simple as that. But right now, it's clear. Even Stevie Wonder can see that you get more explosive plays, and he moves the chains, and he's younger, and he's better at this point than Steven Jackson. So I think the Falcons are going to have to acknowledge that and go ahead and play this guy. 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Got to continue to hammer home the point that this is the livest, the most fun sports talk show in America. I mean, hell, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? You are. So damn it, tell 3 people. I went up since yesterday. In the last couple of weeks. We don't need you to tell 2 people. We need you to tell 3 about the most live, most interactive sports talk show in America. That's right. This is the Doug Stewart Show. So we really had a lot of conversation today, a lot of feedback on the Twitter and on chat about the top 5 young quarterbacks in the NFL and who you would take and why. And your choices were Russell Wilson. I mean, just a huge game last night. Consummate field general. I mean, just a consummate field general. And so he just balled out of control last night. Would it be Russell Wilson? Would it be RG3? You know, the injuries that he's been suffering through. I'm talking about RG3. And the question was really posed earlier today, thinking that RG3 was healthy. If you could get a healthy RG3 after his rookie year or his senior year at Baylor, would you take him? Colin Kaepernick just looks like a prototype. I mean, he just looks so good back there at times. Very good in the playoffs. Had a great game in the Super Bowl for the most part. Or Andrew Luck or Cam Newton. I mean, and I went with Cam Newton simply because I just think he's the best combination of everybody. He has enough smarts, I think, to read defenses. He is a winner. He does appear to be a field general. A lot of people don't like his attitude, think he's kind of cocky with the whole Superman thing. I get that. But sometimes that swagger helps you to be you. So clearly I don't have a problem with Cam Newton and his swaggerness. Okay? I don't have a problem with it at all. So I would take Cam Newton. The guy has the biggest arm out of all those dudes. He's a proven winner. He just doesn't have the talent or the coaching staff or the scheme around him that Russell Wilson has in Seattle. And I would take each and every one of them. It's really hard to choose. I don't know if I had to put them in order, and that really wasn't part of the question today, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. If I had to put them in order, who I would take, number 1, I would take Cam. Number 2, I would take Russell Wilson. Number 3, I would take Andrew Luck. Number 4, I would take Colin Kaepernick. And number 5, I would take RG3. And I guess subconsciously I'm putting RG3's injury situation into the equation. But I think out of all these guys and what I've seen out of RG3 and, what I've seen out of all the other guys, I think that would be my order. And it might be interchangeable a little bit between Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson at number 2. I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit more. But yeah. I mean, the NFL, the league is in a very healthy state right now as far as its quarterback. The quarterbacks that are there right now. Because, I mean, these guys are phenomenal. And the beautiful thing about it is they're playing and using offensive schemes built around their attributes. And they didn't do that 15, 20 years ago. They did not do it. You played that type of offense, that spread offense, and you ran out of the pocket all the time, then change your ass to defensive back. Sure as my name ain't Sam. If you're young, you may not even understand it. If you're under the age of like 20, you've only seen this in your lifetime, where they let these guys do what they do. No, hell no. They didn't let them do what they do 25 years ago. Yeah. You Tommy Frazier? You led your team to a national championship? You were unstoppable? Defensive back, ninja! Yes! That's what they used to do! Oh my gosh. So it was very, very, it was bad. It was a tough thing to watch. And all these great talents. And I mentioned Joe Hamilton, former Georgia Tech quarterback. Joe could run that thing too. He was a field general as well, but he didn't get the opportunities just because of his size and because of the way he played the game. It's really sad when you think about it. All right, thank you to everybody that made this show happen today. Shouts out to the Tree of Life. Tree Taylor, thank you so much for all that you do, my lead producer. You do it all. Thank you so much, Tree. I really appreciate it. Shouts out to Waterhead Walter. You doing this damn thing. My assistant producer, appreciate what you do, sir. Very much. I really appreciate what you do, man. Who else? Dwayne Vassan, my internet engineer guy, doing big things. Big things with the Doug Stewart Show behind the scenes and making this format and our different formats do what they do. Yeah, big stuff. All right, tomorrow, Word on the Street Wednesday. Same Doug time, same Doug channel. Pass the word. Peace.